Governments review northern political process and reaffirm September deadline for talks. Health Minister to meet McColl family to discuss the legal strategy in their mother's case. Corkman sentenced to 10 years for the rape and abuse of his partner's children. Good evening. The Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Northern Secretary had more than 2 hours of talks in Dublin today, during which they reviewed the prospects for advancing the political process in Northern Ireland. Afterwards, Mr. Burke and Dr. MOWLAM said they'd be consulting the other talks participants before September the 15th, when full-scale political negotiations are due to start at Stormont. Mr. Burke said that the two governments remain committed to a round-table format for those talks, but Dr. MOWLAM maintained that no decision would be taken without consulting the parties.
Today's meeting took place at a time when the political process is normally winding down for the summer break. This year, however, the governments are keen to lay the stress on working right through to the resumption of talks on September the 15th and on the need to tempt those unionists who've withdrawn back into the process. Against that background, there was an unseasonal briskness to today's business.
The work gets underway this morning. We have a lot of work to do, and we want to build on the ceasefire that's there, the unequivocal ceasefire, and so that we can ensure that we have a lasting peace starting in the process from the 15th of September.
The Minister spent 2 hours looking at various formats for the September talks in the knowledge that unionists won't be disposed to sitting around the same table as Sinn Féin. Nonetheless, that remained Mr. Burke's firm preference. There was no plan B, he said.
There is no plan B. There is a plan A. The talks process that is there has the potential to work very effectively. The participants are well familiar with the class of buildings, they're well familiar with the surroundings, they're well familiar with one another at this stage. And what we want now is goodwill on all sides and commitment on all sides.
But Mo Mowlam had to acknowledge that round-table talks were by no means a foregone conclusion.
It is a decision that we will discuss with all the parties during the summer, and then we will come to September the 15th and return to a plenary session, and then that decision will be taken.
Much as they would like to, both governments know they can't guarantee that all the parties will be around the table on September the 15th. In the meantime, they're working out the various options if, as seems almost certain, that doesn't happen. But they know too that effectively the game will only be beginning when the parties gather at Stormont in the autumn.
A Lurgan man accused in connection with the IRA killing of 2 policemen in the town last month has had a second application for bail turned down at the High Court in Belfast. 29-year-old Colin Duffy faces charges of murdering Constables John Graham and David Johnston on June the 16th. Mr. Duffy has denied any involvement in the shooting. The prosecution case hinges on identification evidence, in particular from one female witness, but the defence has claimed she is unreliable.